Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. So I am going to be redoing the back seat of my truck area, and I just thought I'd go ahead and go around here in case you haven't watched my truck loadout videos. I've got loadout videos of what this is right here. But basically, at some point in time, I had built these a long time ago before I'd even went out on my own, just for some storage, and I had built these going around the back seat that used to be back here. Well, I've since taken out the back seat, and now that's going to allow me to be able to shift stuff back all the way, but it's going to make it to where I got to turn these pack out drawers the opposite direction, and I think it's going to end up working out better for me. I'm going to basically take all this stuff out and build it as I go. I've kind of got a plan for it, but I'm not going to know until I get all this stuff out of here. But I thought I'd go through here real fast, kind of just show you both sides and explain to you what it looks like now in case you haven't watched those loadout videos. So again, I've got my wood drawers that I built. I basically built my pack out around those things. I've got a set of pack out drawers up here on the top, along with some of my hardware type stuff. And then since I took the back seat out, I've been using this as an area to tuck my tool bags back in. So there's my SBLD. I have my Atlas 46 vest hung up there, and then I also hang my pouches back here on the back side along with the rail here. And that's another thing about shifting this stuff this way. I should be able to have my pouches all on like the wall over here. I think I'm going to like that better. Let me go over to the passenger side. So the passenger side, I basically had built a base just to level out my floor, and then I've added a 2-drawer and a 3-drawer pack out over here. And again, I also have room. This is my 3-plane laser. But as you can see, since I took the back seat out, basically I've just been using this as a stuff area, and I'm just going to be able to push everything back and give myself a little bit more room out here in the front. I think that's going to be better. And then also the way my doors open like this, sometimes if someone is parked right beside of me, it's hard for me to get in one side or the other. Depends on which side they're on. These drawers I'm going to build, I'm going to make them to where I can access the entire drawer from either side of my truck. So that way if somebody parks real close to me, I can pull it out the other side, those kinds of things like that. But again, before I can even start and start thinking about what I'm going to do, I've got to get all this stuff out of here. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right, guys, so there's my whole back seat empty. Quite a bit of stuff in here. It's actually amazing once you get all that. I'll show it to you, the big pile here in a minute, to show you how much stuff I actually had back here. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a drawer on the bottom and probably get up above, you know, into this hump area. The next drawer I'm going to come up, and then the platform will go all the way to the back. I have to take in consideration that the drawers have to be able to open. You know, I can't build them all the way back. They have to be able to open out. And I'm probably going to leave this up here for now because, again, I'm not going to get this done in a day. This is going to be a process, so I'm just going to be loading the tools in here that I need each and every day, and my pouches can just stay there for the time being, because that won't be until I start to put the pack-out drawers in here. I'll have all the bottom and all that kind of stuff built. I'm not going to build it fancy. It's not going to be like, you know, cabinet grade or anything like that. It's just going to be a functional thing. I'll try to make it look the best that I can. But again, I got a lot more room that I can work with. And my goal, as I said, is to be able to pull a drawer out of this side, and then also be able to pull that same drawer out of that side if I need to as well. And then I should be able to access my pack out drawers from both sides, having this open up here in the front too. So again, there it is, empty. I'll start building it at some point, and then whenever I'm all said and done, we'll take a look at it, and I'll go around and kind of show you what it looks like. But before I get into building, let me go ahead and show you the bulk of everything that I pulled out of here. Again, there's my big base thing that had the drawers in it. I was able to just pull those out to make it a little bit lighter. 3 drawers inside there with all that stuff in there. Again, this is all in my last truck loadout video. But I had a crate in there, also another little container full of stuff, small organizers with my wire nuts and all that. I have a set of drawers underneath here that drawer came out of. And then I had 2 other sets of drawers, my Bosch 3-plane laser. I was using those 2 organizers as mounting plates, clothes, all sorts of stuff, just quite a bit of stuff in that little back seat right there. So hopefully I'm going to be able to fit all this back in there, and maybe even a little bit more, and have better access. Again, we're going to find out and see. I'm not going to tear this thing apart yet, because maybe whatever I build, maybe I won't like it as much and I want to go back to this. So we'll just have to find out and see, but I'm going to go ahead and get to building. So I've got some pieces cut. I'm going to pretty much build it in place. I'm not even going to fully build it right now. This is the proof of concept stage. I kind of got an idea of what I want to do. I want to load it in here, make sure it's going to work with the height with my double pack out drawers, those kinds of things like that. Also make sure the seats are going to work. The drawers would end up sliding out. I don't have the drawers built yet. I'm probably going to actually have to buy some plywood for that. And that's another thing, is as you see this, you may think, well, it looks like you're missing a little section of plywood here or there. I built it basically out of stuff that I already had left over from jobs or whatever else. My goal is always to spend as little money as possible whenever I do stuff like this, but I also want it to be functional and be good. So again, I'm going to load it in here, and then after I got it in here, I'll talk again about what it is that my plan is for it and what I'm going to end up doing with it. But let's go ahead and get it loaded into the truck. So this is my first drawer. It's going to end up being like a skinnier drawer, mostly bits and things like that. I'm also going to push it all the way to one side. That way I've got as much room right here for a veto bag or whatever else that I want to end up putting there. So I ended up doing it kind of like that. Again, that's going to be my drawer. My top, I was going to go ahead and extend it over and get it to this point right here. Also drilled out some holes for my old seat bolts. That's going to keep the thing from sliding up this way as well. So my next sheet, I just used a sheet of 1/2-inch plywood because I had more of that than I had of 3/4. Again, I've got holes drilled out where those seat hole bolts are. This is going to end up flushing out right here with this. So that's going to end up being a drawer inside of here. This is going to be the second stage. I'll also be able to tuck some stuff in this area right here, drop cloth, whatever else, whatever I end up wanting to put there. So the next piece is also a drawer. I did that on 1/2-inch plywood as well. That way, whenever I double up my 1/2-inch from the previous and this 1/2-inch again, because I have more 1/2-inch, I'll end up with a thick piece right there. And I also wanted to build it in stages. So once I have that one in, I will be able to screw this one directly into that one. And then whenever I ever have to disassemble it, I'll be able to take these out in pieces as well. I did drill holes right here to line up with those as well. So this one will kind of be locked in also. And this one was a bit tight to get in. I've got to kind of work with the padding back here on the back of the truck. So I may not get that exactly in right now, but it will go eventually. And then that makes those bolts be flushed out as well. And again, all this will end up lining up in my final piece because I'll kind of be assembling it together. I guess I should also mention this is going to be a long drawer, goes all the way through again to the other side. This is a little bit deeper. I ended up planning this height out so that whenever I put this 3/4 board on, my 2 PACKOUT drawer stacks come out all the way to the roof, so that way I get as much space in these drawers as possible. I also divided this backspace. I needed support back here in order to do what I'm about to show you in a minute, so my PACKOUT drawers will sit on there. So I kind of divided this space into a shorter space and a longer space. This spot right here is going to be perfect for my M12 radio, you know, booties, things like that, stuff that I typically grab out here. I don't have my booties out here, but my charger, and then on that side I can put some longer things, whether it's levels, whatever else. So again, it's just a use of that space. I'll still be able to access it from right here, maybe even a small veto bag if that's what I need to put in there. But then the last thing is going to be a sheet of 3/4 plywood. Again, all this will end up getting locked in place. This will end up getting pushed back there. I just have to push this stuff in while I do it. It does end up going back and flushing out, but I won't be able to do that until I'm at the stage of, you know, actually putting the thing together and assembling it, not what I'm doing right now. So then the next step is going to be, is my PACKOUT drawers, are my PACKOUT drawers going to end up fitting on the top? So we're going to put one in. I'm going to slide it down to the other side just so you can see what my main goal is going to be for this side over here. Then if I put another one on this side, that's going to work out just right. 2 sets of drawers, but my goal is going to be to get 4 drawers in here, where previously I only had 3. And then I'm going to also have 2 bigger drawers of this, versus I had 3 drawers, but they were smaller. And then also on this side, this one's my heavy one, I'll be able to put rails on it just like this, put another one on this PACKOUT, and have my pouches, my MP2, my MPMX, those things hanging there, veto bag sitting here, maybe up there. I can do whatever up there. And again, even with my door or my seat back farther than what it ever has been, I can still get in and access all these PACKOUT drawers pretty much exactly the same way as I was before, because even the top one's the way it was before. I couldn't see in it any better than what I can see right there, and I can still see in there just fine. Like if I need to grab a tape measure, it's here. My digital level here, I can still see in that exactly the same as what I could before, even with it being closer to out here on the outside. And again, this isn't necessarily the drawer location of where I'll put these specific drawers, but I'll also be able to either add another drawer system or just save a space to add PACKOUTs in for different stuff that I want to carry, whatever I want to do. And then I'll still have all this space up here on the front to load supplies, maybe put a crate, something like that. I could even still build these up just a little bit if I wanted to, and then put stuff like this on here if I wanted to. I don't think I'm going to personally do that, but again, just to give you the concept of it. So the next step is going to be, I'm going to get this stuff out. I've got to get some stuff to build the drawers, be able to slide them all the way through both sides, and then basically do some finishing and stuff like that just to make it look prettier. But other than that, this is the concept and this is what I'm going to be doing. But the next thing that we'll look at will be the finished product. So I'm pretty much done with the concept. There's still a lot of little odds and ends, like I'm waiting on a Milwaukee PACKOUT like rail accessory over here. I'm going to put that there. Probably going to order me another rail like this to put on the other side. And I may not even keep 4 drawers in here. I've got 4 drawers right now, but this isn't my loadout. I'll do a loadout later. I'm just showing you the concept kind of finalized. Like I still had to figure out where I'm going to put my magnetic bit holder on here, tape measure clips, those kinds of things. I do have some things in the drawer just to show you how it's going to work for me, those kinds of things. But the loadout's probably going to completely change as I use it. I'll figure out what needs to go where. But let me go ahead and I will lift up this seat just so you can see a little bit better. But I got plenty of room for my seat now. Definitely a lot more room than what I had. I did go ahead and use the wall plates, mounted those to this right here. I ended up using this carpet. This is something that I had a big roll of, so this cost me nothing. Again, with all this, I pretty much Tried to spend as little money as possible. A lot of this is leftover materials, all the plywood. I had to buy like a 1/2 sheet of 3/4 board and 1/2 sheet of 1/2 inch, I believe that it was. Other than that, I pretty much bought these handles off Amazon. They had a 4-pack of these for 23 bucks. That's all I ended up buying. So SBLD's fitting right here. It still shuts. As far as my door shuts, fine with that being there. I don't know that I'm going to keep it there. I may end up just setting it up here and moving it out of my way whenever I need to. I'm going to go ahead and move it now, just again so you can see. So up here, I've got a rail. I'm going to end up having to tighten that. This has always been back in behind on my other one, but now I can hang my MP-MX along with my MP2X. I'm gonna get these loaded out. I'm also, again, going to get a Milwaukee PACKOUT. It's got some cubbies and then also another rail like this. I'm gonna put that down here. I got my M18 Rover light there. I also have my vest hung up. It's hung on a little clip here. Again, not gonna be my loadout probably. This is just showing you what it's about. Back in here, I've got this cubby. So right now I've got my radio, I've got a charger back in behind that, and then I've also got my Muddy Buddy boots along with my Klein knee pads. Put carpet in there as well, keep stuff from sliding out. And then down here I've got this little section where my floor ended up ramping up, so it's kind of just a place. Right now I've got my 2-foot Stabilo level, 2-foot skimming blade, and then also my Milwaukee hoses as far as for the vacuum. So that's what's going in there right now. Again, might change. Now we get into the drawers. Again, carpet on plywood, faced it with some 1x trim that I had here. These are just plywood drawers. These handles I did buy, and I made it short for a couple reasons. One is so this handle wouldn't stick out as far as hitting my SBLD. And then also, if I have a problem with them sliding, I'm going to put something through like this right here, where it's a little pin. I can stick it in there and then it would keep it from opening this way, but I'd still be able to pull it out the other side, which I'll show you in a minute. So here's some stuff that I just temporarily put in the drawer for now. Again, these slide out. I'm gonna make sure and open my door so you can see I can open my door all the way. These drawers are 48 inches in length. So right now I've got all my bits and stuff in here. Still have a little bit more room that's able to support itself. If I have it all the way out, I may end up, holding on to it. Put that same carpet on the inside. Also have a divider in here, just pocket hole jigs. I was going to slot little grooves so I could drop plywood in there and move them around if I want to, but I'm ultimately not going to have very many dividers in here, so I just decided I'm going to pocket hole them. So this is the bottom drawer, a little bit smaller in depth than the top drawer. Top drawer right now, batteries. So I got my Metabo, my bigger M12s, high output M12, smaller ones, M18 batteries, just some kind of catch-alls. I've got all this locked in with these screw down battery holders for M12. These were in my other drawer, in my other loadout. And then again on this side, I've got power tools that I typically grab the most that aren't in my deck drawers back in the back. So again, I'll do a loadout at some point in time. This is just showing you how the drawers work. I can even pull this one out to this point right here and it's still fine. I probably wouldn't pull it all the way out that way without holding on to it. But I've also noticed if I take my other drawer about halfway out, if I'm going to leave this out like this for a long period of time, I would do that just to help support it a little bit. But the nice thing about these drawers, and the whole reason why I really did this, was because, again, if somebody's parked super close to me, and this is as far as I can open my door, I could never get into, this drawers all the way, the ones that I did have in here, versus now I can go over to the passenger side. And if I open this door over here, I've got my drawers on this side as well. So that same bit holding drawer, I can also pull out and get to from this side. So I can get to it from either side. My tools as well. So there's all my power tools. So I'm on my passenger side now instead of the driver's side. I got to work on this drawer a little bit. It's actually a little bit too tight, but I prefer that really to this one being too loose. This one's going to move around. If I could keep it this tight, I wouldn't even have to put a pin in there. So same thing on this side. I've also got a deeper cubby back here. So I've got my jump starter and just weird stuff back there. And then again, this goes all the way through to the other side too. So I can put some stuff in here as well. And then again, up top, I've got 4 sets of PACKOUT drawers. 3 of them are the ones I already had in here. One of them is one that I had in the back of my truck under my cab. Again, I might end up just taking one of these sets of drawers out and leaving myself a space to stack in organizers as I need them, because ultimately I've got plenty of drawer space at the moment with these 2 drawers and the 3 PACKOUT drawers that I'm already using. It just depends. It's either way. I'm either going to have a drawer system back there to stack stuff on, and then my organizers up here, or I can just stack my organizer back there. So again, the loadout's going to come over time. I'm going to use it like it is and figure out what might work the best for me. But I wanted to go ahead and share this with you all at this stage of the game. Again, the loadout's not complete. It's going to take some time for me to use it, figure out the right spot for certain things. I'm probably going to even have to rework my deck drawers, move some stuff back there, move some stuff up here, those kinds of things for efficiency and just ease of use and make it more enjoyable, those kinds of things like that. But again, more seat room for me. I kind of got this big platform here of some where I can just stick random stuff if I need to, a bag or whatever else. And then the fact that, again, I can pull these drawers out from both sides and access these tools, I think that's going to be super nice. And the PACKOUT drawers, I can kind of reach in there and do the same thing. Worst case scenario, if somebody's parked on that side and I can't get to those PACKOUTs over there, I can climb across here and get in there and get to those things. So again, I think it's going to be better for me. Time will tell on it. Again, I don't know. I haven't used it yet, but I'm always willing to try stuff. And again, I was able to do this for very little money. I had most of the supplies already here. You know, the carpet was free. Most of the plywood was free. All that trim was free. Basically, I bought some handles, a little bit of plywood, and that was about it. I might have, you know, $100 in this when it's all said and done, when it comes down to it. But let me know in the comments below what you think about it. If you've watched my last loadout videos, tell me if you feel like this is better than what it was before. I feel like it's going to be, but again, who knows? We'll just have to find out. But anyways, I hope this video was helpful in some way. Hope it was interesting. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you on the next video.